So I'm making a bench for my father-in-law. I'm just going to use 2x4s for this build. It's like an A-frame leg style 2x4 bench. But this is what I'm making it out of. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 8-foot 2x4s that are $2.98 a piece at the big box store. 27, 28 bucks. A lot of sucker for the kids came out to 30 bucks. So $30 in lumber. We're gonna make this bench out of this. All right. First thing I'm gonna do is cut off the ends. Some of these 2x4s are split at the end here, and it's not really a big deal. I don't like it aesthetically, and I have plenty of room because this bench is only going to be 66 feet wide. So these are 8 feet, 96 inches. So I got what, 30 inches to play with? Yeah, I'm good at math. So we're going to cut these ends off here, and I think we're good. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting these teal or blue pieces, and these are called I guess you would call them the leg brackets. I will be cutting 2 of those pieces. So these top pieces that I was just talking about only have an angle on one side. The back side has no angle on it. I mean, I guess you could put one on there. Anyways, I need to follow my plans. The next piece or pieces that I'll be cutting will be the leg braces, which are these yellow pieces here. And I will be cutting 4 of them. And I'll try to follow along here too. If you cut all of your main slats here, these green pieces, you can cut these remaining pieces off your ends here, off of the end of the 8-foot 2x4. This shadow or this gray piece here represents the length of an 8-foot 2x4. So if you cut your, and in my case, I'm cutting 66 inches here, and the remaining area is this much right here. So as you can see, I can cut 4 legs out of 2 of these 2x4s. What's the remainder is what's left. Since they're going to be supporting the top of the bench where you sit, you're going to want both of these angles to be exactly the same direction, running parallel. Unlike the brace that we cut that runs opposite. We don't want that with the legs. My miter saw is already left in the 15-degree setup, so I'm just going to go ahead and kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. I'm going to cut off the end at the same time cutting my angle. Once again, sneaking up on the cut is a good idea. So the next piece is going to be the bottom leg braces, and it's going to be these purple pieces right here. Taking extra special care, making sure that these miters are running the opposite direction, unlike the legs that are running the same direction. They're running parallel. So all I did was just flip the board over and made the same cut on the miter saw. So I'm going to take this piece that I just cut, and I'm going to lay out my marks on my other piece. Even though I got these marked out, I'm still going to test my measurements after I make my first cut. So here's our total of 4 braces, which are going to look like this on each side. So after you get done with the cuts, it should look something like this. There's the legs. Sorry, I'm filming by myself here. there's the bottom brace, and there's the top brace. And pretty much, yeah, we're going to screw this together all nice and neat. So once I got all the pieces cut for the legs, I went ahead and laid it out like it's going to look like fully assembled. And I took a straight piece of wood here and put on the bottom to simulate like the ground, right? I apologize for all this traffic. I live on a busy street. Try to be loud. It's just real busy today. Anyways, so I put a piece of wood on the bottom here so I can keep these legs at the correct angle and make sure that they are both flat on the same plane. So I put another 2x4 right at the bottom here as a spacer, and that's where I'm going to put my first bottom brace at. That way it's just consistent with the other leg. Just going to mark a line on the other side here, because in addition to the screws, I'm also going to use wood glue. And believe it or not, this wood glue is what's really going to hold this whole thing together. Wood glue is really strong. I just put the line there so I know how far I need to go with the wood glue. Now that you've got this whole thing, the whole bottom set up level and all is good, then you can just flip this around and put the top on just from eyeballing it. So I'm taking the cutoffs that I got from the slats we talked about. I'm going to set these with a 15-degree angle like this on the braces, and set it at a 15-degree angle, because if you do, it'll come out perfect if you level it with the bottom of the brace. And I'm going to leave these long because I'm not exactly sure how long I'm going to want them for the back brace. I could always just leave them long, put my slats on, and then cut the remainder off, you know, where I want it. And then I kind of laid this out to where this is flush with the bottom here, and then the back of this board is exactly flush with the corner of this one, and laid out some lines here where to put my glue at. That's what I like about these brushes. You can just peel off the old glue like this. I mean, it's a little sticky because it's from not too long ago, but it's okay. Oops. That's the dollar store brushes for you. But you can see it just comes right off. Easy to clean. Big goobers. So when you're all done, this is what you should end up with. I apologize, I wasn't able to video me putting these together. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, so. Alright, so the back is pretty much going to be the same as the bottom. The only difference is I'm using a 2x4 as a space. So I'm just going to take some sawdust, the wood glue, and make some putty to fill in these nail holes, and then sand them down. Since I'm just going to be painting this, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to grab, yeah, about that much, I guess. That's probably way too much. Let's split this up here. And I don't think there's an exact science to how much glue to sawdust ratio. I think as long as you just make a nice putty out of this, right? I'll just mix it around. Get it all over my fingers. And probably something like that would be just fine. Yeah, so I'll just take all this stuff here and fill in my nail holes. I'm just going to take that putty that I made and just jam it in here. I don't care how messy it is because I'm going to be sanding this. And I want it to stick kind of proud of the face of the wood so I can sand it down flush. And you know what? You could use like wood filler or wood putty too. I didn't even think about that. I got some. But you know what? I'll do that. I'll do both methods. Show you guys this one. And of course the more realistic method is wood putty. But if you don't have wood putty or wood filler, then, well, here you go. You could do this. This is definitely the more dirty way of doing it. Yeah, that's good. A little bit more in there. So of course the easier way to do this is to use some wood filler, and that's what I got right here. It's just some Elmer's Carpenter's wood filler. It's a color change. Sorry about the camera. It's a color change, so it starts off purple, and then when it dries, it turns white. So that's how you know it's dry, right? And just jam it in there. Again, I'm going to do the same concept, and I'm going to leave it proud of the face of the lumber so that way I can sand down to the, you know, to make it flush. I'm just using a popsicle stick here to spread this stuff around. So as I showed you a minute ago, you know, there's different directions you can go with filling these holes. And I think I said it before, but the more realistic way, or the smarter way, is to probably drill your pocket holes underneath, you know, before you assemble all this stuff, or some other kind of joinery if you want it hidden. But being that this is painted, this isn't a big deal. I can just cover this up, sand it down, and cover this up with paint. You wouldn't even know it's here. So before I go any further, I'm going to install this top rail on here. And I got a little clamp over here holding this on this end, so I can kind of mess with this. And then I'm just going to put a square up here, or a ruler or whatever, and then run this board to where it's touching it, so I know I'm out far enough. Yeah. Alright, so my camera died when I was installing this top rail, but I just pre-drilled and sunk some screws in here just like the rest of these. And then, like I said, if you cut this top at a 15-degree angle, the brace for this, then when you put this thing flat on the ground, this will be level with the bench and the ground as well. So when you're sitting on it, it's kind of nice because then you can just put your arm up here, you know, nice and level, and then you can sit like drinks and stuff up here if you want to. So that's kind of cool. Now I just need to sand off all this putty that I put in here, and I'm going to sand down the corners on the edge of these 2x4s to make it a little more better for handling, you know, or if you happen to scrape your leg on the end. So one thing I will say though, that I did do some what do you call it, wood glue and sawdust, and using both of them, I can say that I prefer the putty method because it's easier to sand, and according to the label or whatever, it says that it's stainable, and I don't think this is stainable because it has wood glue in it. So I prefer that that method. So as you can see, I am painting this thing with a it's called Hunter Green right here. Hunter Green by Rustoleum. I don't know why I got this or how I got it or where I got it, but I know a lot of people right now are probably just cringing at this color. They're just cringing at all that I painted. I mean, it's 2x4s. It's not like it's it's not like it's really nice wood, right? I mean, 2x4s. I mean, it can be really nice wood, but I don't want to put the work into actually making this really nice. Not to mention, it's going to be sitting outside at my father-in-law's house, who lives 6 hours from where I'm at, and where he lives, it's really moisture-rich climate. For those who don't know, it's on the west side of Washington State, and it just does nothing but rain over there. And he lives like in a really green area, just lots of different trees. And in his backyard, he's got a bunch of frogs and a sign that says Frogtown USA that I made him, and I painted it the same green. Made him a birdhouse that I used the same green on, and he likes that green, and it really helps protect the wood. So that's why we're painting it this color. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. That's why I'm using this green. But one thing that I did notice, that while I was painting this, I wanted to make another modification to this before I got too far into the painting, and that is I want to add another brace in the middle right here from end to end. And this is already sturdy as it is, don't get me wrong. It has like little to no wobble in it whatsoever when you're sitting on it, but there's only 2 points of contact between both sides, which is the seat and the back, and I guess the top rail, but I want 3 points of contact. So I'm going to have the back, the seat, and I'm going to have one 2x4 across here going this way, and I think that'll really help the stability and the longevity of this thing. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so my camera shut off while I was recording like usual. Very, very annoying. But that's just the way it is, I guess, right? So this is the bar that I was talking about, the cross member, whatever you want to call it, that I was installing. So this is the bottom of the bench, and I put it about 6 inches in on either side, and that's what I was talking about. So visualize me attaching it to the bench. Alright, so here it is, the completed bench that I built for my father-in-law. All made out of 2x4s and screws. Yeah, this is it. So I think I might have left out a little bit of footage on putting some of this stuff together, and I do apologize. I kept running out of either my battery is dying on my camera, or I would lose storage. Like I'd run out of storage and I have to go in, and just a pain in the butt. I don't really have the greatest setup for recording video, but it works, so I'm dealing with it, you know, for now. Yeah, so you can make this out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can make this bench out of 8 or 9 2x4s. I used more because I messed up on my cut list. I added a support beam on the bottom of this bench, and so that was an extra 2x4. But I will have a set of plans for these to where if you follow the cut list, the cut diagram that's on there, and it's all color coded, if you follow that, you will use that many 2x4s. And they're going to be just free plans. I'm not going to sell them because this bench is a pretty common bench. I did tweak it a little bit, so you know, it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. And it's really easy to build, and in fact, I want to build some more of these and do some different colors and whatnot. But if you guys have any questions or recommendations or anything, please leave it in the comments. Share the video, like it, subscribe. I will be making some more videos. The only angle that I used on this whole bench was 15-degree angle, and I only used it on these rails here and the legs, and that was it. Really simple bench to build. Anybody can build this thing. Build it with limited tools. If you have a drill or a skill saw, you could totally build this bench. I used a miter saw because I had it, but you don't. I mean, all you need is you just need a handsaw and a drill. That's all you need. You can build this thing. Pretty simple. And this costs. If you follow the plans right, like I did it should only cost you 30 bucks. This particular bench costs 40. With the paint, it costs 40 bucks. So that's not bad. You can probably turn around and sell something like this for 100 bucks. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, we'll see you later.